Hello, everybody. What is up? Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Everybody get in here. It's another day of me in court in Santa Monica for SOULJA Boy's civil trial. This is his civil sexual assault trial that's been going on for a few days, at least a couple weeks, and is going to be going into next week at least. He has not yet testified, but this is a former employee, former girlfriend, who he was hired. She said she was hired as for $500 a week to be his personal assistant. She's a blunt roller, and this was back a couple years ago, back 2020 time. The lawsuit was actually filed in 2021, and we're just now getting to trial on it. But she alleges she was held captive, physically, emotionally, sexually abused. I haven't heard a dollar figure yet for how much in damages she's seeking, but I'm sure it's going to be in the millions of dollars. They'll state that in closing argument. But SOULJA Boy's in court, hearing. He's at the defense table. She's at the plaintiff's table. She's actually been on the witness stand for the last couple of days. She was testifying last week, and then she testified yesterday. Cross-examination started. SOULJA Boy's lawyer started questioning her, and then she was back on the stand today, but it was a short day. She got back on the stand in the afternoon, but there was a cop who testified before her. But it's slow going in the trial for sure. It's starts at 10:30, but I got there a little bit after 10:30 today, and they hadn't started yet. And apparently there was an issue with the juror, and the other reporters who were covering it weren't in there. They'd kicked the public out to talk to this juror privately, but we were told there wasn't going to be testimony. The jury wasn't going to be back until 1:30. But the attorneys argued about stuff in court for like 45 minutes or something. But there was a break from like 11:30 to 1:30, and then we had a cop testify about body cam footage that he has of an interview, a talk that he did with the plaintiff back in 2020 after some kind of incident with SOULJA Boy. And it's the key is, does she talk about whether she was sexually assaulted in it? Because I guess in the opening statements, which I didn't hear, but I guess SOULJA Boy's lawyers say that she never mentioned this in the police interview, or she had never mentioned anything about unconsensual sex before the lawsuit. But they're saying that she does mention it in here. But there's kind of like this long back and forth between her and the cop that they're focusing on. But I noticed this, but the judge was calling the attorneys out on the fact that this trial is just dragging on way too long. Like it's way too slow. What's up, soldier? What'd you do for lunch? What's up? He's polite. He's not. He's not just gonna stop and talk when he's on trial. But I need to get a little closer to him and get a better picture of him. I'm not really into that. But I want to. Thanks to the people who are tuned in. I need to get a little more organized and do what's up, soldier? What'd you do for lunch? What's up? Get a better presentation going on here. But SOULJA Boy, what's up? Hey, are you an indica or sativa? Before I had to be in court, and then you came out, and then the security said something about the weed smell when you walked through. Oh. So I'm like, indica or sativa? Which is it? Play that again. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. SOULJA Boy, what's up? Hey, are you an indica or sativa guy? Can you say? I said to my friend, I should have given him a hybrid option on there for sure. But yeah, Jason, it's a civil suit for sure. Not a criminal case at all. But yeah, he was laughing for sure. But we were talking about California sober today. But actually, I was talking to Mel, who was there. She's the I'm not a lawyer, but on TikTok and YouTube, and was telling her that because we were waiting for him to come in, because it takes like a minute to go through security. I mean, you can, if you're supposed to be in court at 1:30, you can get to the door at 1:27 or 1:28 and be totally fine. So we were standing outside the courthouse waiting for him to come back in just to get a video of him like he did. But it's like, 1:26 or something. So we're wondering if we should just go in anyway. But I pointed to this SUV and I'm like, if I was him, I'd be sitting in that SUV taking hits of a blunt, like up until like the very minute before I need to go into court. And like shortly after I said that, he actually emerged from that SUV. And then when we were going through security, he went through security. The security actually commented on the weed smell. Like after he walked by one of the security guys, they're sheriff's deputies actually, but they're like he always smells. It's always that smell when he comes through. Like, I mean, is pretty funny. That's clearly what he's doing. But yeah, I mean, it's not like he's bringing it into the courthouse or anything. But weed is legal in California. So if he testifies and he's, I don't know, I guess the plaintiff's lawyer could bring it up. I don't think anyone's going to bring it up. It's not that big a deal. But if you guys follow me on Twitter or X, which some people do, I tweeted it on there. But it was and let me get into the details of what exactly this video was about, because I swear they went over it like 800 times. And overall, the fact that this trial is dragging on so long, it doesn't really help the plaintiffs. Like the lawyers are just kind of all over the place on both sides, but it's just taking forever. But it overall does not seem to favor the plaintiffs to have the jury wondering why this trial is taking so long. The judge being like, "Hey guys, we need to get this going here." But the big thing with this dash cam video from the police was, it's her talking about being sexually assaulted, but the cop is asking her specific questions. It's like, okay, so if you did this against your will, it's rape. And she's like, okay, no, that's not what happened. So I'm not really sure which side it benefits the most. I can kind of see both sides kind of thinking that it's it's for him, because the officer in the body cam is like, if he forced himself on you and he had sex with you, that is rape. Is that what he did? And she's like, no. And he's like, that's not what he did. And she's like, no. She said, I was in love with him, but the last couple of times he would beat me up and then have sex, and that was kind of weird. But it was like, she'd talk about how he'd zelly her $1,000. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can definitely see why this isn't a criminal case, and maybe they think they're going to get something from the jury in damages for a civil case. I don't know. It's hard to say. And really, full disclosure, did not hear the bulk of the plaintiff's direct testimony in the beginning, which I guess was really emotional. And I mean, she really runs through all this stuff. She was hired for $500 a week and was like a live-in assistant for him, but had like really bare, meager setup. Did not have like some kind of posh setup, and it was like almost like an indentured servitude kind of thing. But then it was like, did she get into a consensual relationship with him? And the stuff that I've heard is that she felt sorry for him when he went to jail, and he would call, and they kind of developed a relationship that way. And then when he was out of jail, they were together. And I don't know. I think there was some stuff that came out last week, but this is the same judge. Remember, the Judge Epstein is the one who's hearing the case. Judge Mark Epstein in Santa Monica, and actually he's the same judge who's on the Jay-Z Tony Busby lawsuit. So I'm going back to his courtroom tomorrow for a hearing on this at 9, actually. And actually, that's a reminder, I got to leave early tomorrow. But it starts at 9. I think he's got other cases on the calendar too. But he told the he told the attorneys and the jury 10:40 tomorrow. And he predicted it's going to be a bad day. Like he knows what's on his docket. So The big thing is he going to finalize his ruling on Jay-Z's extortion claim? Is he going to throw out for sure Jay-Z's extortion claim against Busby, or is he going to let Busby, or is he going to let Jay-Z's lawyers take the deposition of Busby and the Jane Doe, the accuser? I'm not quite sure what we'll see, but it's going to be a busy time for this judge for sure. But Lamb Talk, thank you so much for saying hi. It's been a while. I'm trying to get back into my my grind here on YouTube for sure, but I've been just a little busy with everything. I had some work done on my eyes and everything. I'm getting my eyes all straightened out. That was last week. So I've just been, I had a kind of a recovery time, and I'm kind of getting back into it, but still my productivity is going to go way up with this, but I've got to get back into the YouTube grind and the Substack grind too. I've got some stuff to send out on that, but yeah, got to be high for sure. But we'll be back in court. So tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the Jay-Z Tony Busby hearing, and then we'll have continued testimony in the SOULJA Boy trial at 10:40 till like 4:30 or so. They'll have the hour and a half break at noon. But I think the plan is that he's going to testify. I'm not sure if he's going to be up there tomorrow, but the plaintiff's lawyer wants to call him as an adverse witness, last I heard, or last I was paying attention. But that'll be interesting to see the questioning and what he says on that. And I'm planning to write some stories, and you guys see my Substack here, the Legal Affairs in Trials.com is my email Substack, but I've got a few things going on. Like I said, I've just been kind of busy with everything, but I need to revamp things on here and kind of revitalize it. And I want to spend a little more time on like newsletter type things where you get something that's like a collection of like all these different stories. Like I've got an update on the Diddy lawsuit and that kind of stuff, but I want to do that. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I might have to cut it a little short here. I know this isn't like the most in-depth update, but I'm gonna get a little more organized and do some more stuff for you guys here. Just like I said, I've kind of got a lot going on right now, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. Give me a like if you can, tell me what's up, and come back for the next one too. I'm gonna get a little more regular on my lives, I promise, but I will see you guys later for sure. Thank you.